Hey YouTube, it's pretty dark out here, so I apologize, but thought I would take a moment to check out La Gloria Cubana. You know, I have to admit, part of me kind of picked this one up because the tin art was cool. I mean, I can't lie. I can't lie. I'm, it really is cool. Like, that's why I put it in my cart. I said, oh man, oh, that's awesome. I put that in my cart. I didn't even realize they were a tobacco or a cigar company when I did that. Figured that out afterwards. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Anyway, I'm not sure if I would have ordered it though. I mean, it would have probably it'd still be in my wish list if I hadn't seen a review. And Renee, aka D Social D, I'm not exactly sure how to say that, but that's his YouTube channel. It's like the letter D, the word social, the letter D. If you don't follow him, you should, because he does a lot of reviews and he has a lot of great things to say about tobacco. Really good insights about blends and collecting and all that good stuff. All right, I just heard it. It popped. Ooh, wow. Yeah, I can smell latakia. So from reading the tin here, I can tell this is kind of it's going to be pretty latakia heavy. A lot of latakia. It sounds like it's going to be sort of I guess a pretty standard English type of mixture. You know, sounds along the lines of maybe a, a, a Dunhill. Actually, I can't remember who makes this. It might be Dunhill. It certainly feels like it, but I don't know. Let's see. I should have read this in the light. No, it doesn't really say. Not that I can see anyway. Oh wait, here we go. Yeah, Scandinavian Tobacco Company. Okay, so this is you know, it's nothing exotic, but it's a cool tin art, and Renee said it was a winner. So, you know, let's check it out. I tried my first. Well, it wasn't really my first. It wasn't at all my first, but I kind of began my exploration of vapors earlier today. That was fun. It was really good. Started with Bayou Morning. That was delicious. I'm pretty excited about trying out some more, and kind of looking through my blends and realizing I have more vapors than I thought I did. Um, Dublin Dioro is is I believe Perique heavy, and could probably be considered a vapor, unless I'm mistaken. Again, I haven't opened that one yet. Stonehenge. I did not realize Stonehenge was a vapor. I just heard good things about it, so I picked up a tin. So when I get into Stonehenge, you know, got quite a few vapors coming up, but this is more of a standard English. So this is going to be a little bit more of a, you know, standard experience. it does mention Orientals, so I'm kind of excited about that because I love the spiciness of an Oriental added into an English mixture. I guess that would be a Balkan. I don't know if this would be considered Balkan, but sounds exciting. Okay, got a pretty good bowl packed here. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I don't spill this everywhere. And oh man, I really like the smell. I mean, it's not like straight up, you know, Dunhill nightcap or something. There's definitely some kind of interesting spicy Oriental stuff going on just in the tin note. A little bit of sweetness, you know. Really, really interesting. I do use filters. I have 6mm pipes so far, and I was using paper for a while, paper filters, and then I noticed that you can get like a pack of 107 LE balsa filters for like $10. So, well, that's a great deal. And balsa filters sounded interesting. I wanted to try that, and sure enough, I like it a lot better than the paper filters. I think it actually interferes with the flavor, well, less, or really, to be more accurate, none at all. Like literally none at all. There's no flavor whatsoever from the balsa. Whereas the paper, I don't know. The paper was a little weird. Paper filters, they kind of, I don't know, they didn't work out great for me. Yeah. Well, that's delicious, like right away. Yeah. This definitely has that interesting uh, Oriental pizzazz going for it. It's not a straight English. Doesn't feel like a typical Dunhill match type of thing. I would uh, I would I would categorize this alongside Quiet Nights. This has a little bit of that. Yeah, little bit of that kind of slightly musty, sweet, tangy, Oriental. That's really good. I like this already. Um, it's not quite as explosive in that kind of flavor as, you know, Quiet Nights or Penzance even, but yeah, this is this has something special. I agree with Renee. This is a winner. Mm. Yep. So this is gonna go for me. I'm gonna put this right up with mm, Pipe Tree. How you doing, Pipe Tree? I would I would I would sell this right next to Quiet Nights. It's definitely that type of flavor. It's right up that alley. You know. Yeah. Well, I'm excited because I really had no idea what to expect. Um, you know, I, I I mean, it could have just been a straight English with a neat cover, cover painting. Um, I'm a bit surprised it doesn't have cigar leaf and doesn't have that cigar leaf flavor, being that this is a famous cigar brand, famous line of cigars. There's no, I don't know. It's not, it's not quite kind of it's not the cigar ish sort of thing that I guess I thought it would be. I don't know. Yeah. But whatever it is, I mean, it's really good. I seriously doubt there's like Turkish in the cigar leaves or in the cigar, extra cigars. I did not expect this to just come out swinging like Quiet Nights. I really didn't. That is just awesome. Yeah, I'm a little bit taken by surprise how good this is. I feel like there's also a bit of a salty flavor, a salty note that I don't associate with Quiet Nights and Penzance and those super musty Oriental blends. But like Quiet Nights, it kind of transcends the Latakia, and I mean you taste Latakia like right away, but it transcends that and becomes something a little more interesting, and then eventually you've just got a lot of Oriental. You've got a lot of that tangy, spicy, not Paris spicy, but like Oriental spicy sweetness. And pretty soon, that's mostly what you're tasting, I think, for me. What's your favorite cigar? You know what? I don't know what the cigar tastes like though, so I'm not sure. How to. I don't know. I'm not sure how to compare it. I wish I had tried. Now I kind of want to try one of the cigars and see if it's I don't know news pipe smoking. So have a lot of dumb questions. No, no, no. There are no dumb questions. Only dumb answers. Um, no, so my only other experience with a cigar version of a pipe tobacco, this is kind of the opposite. This is a pipe tobacco modeled after the cigar or labeled after the cigar. I don't think it's really anything like the cigar, from what I can tell, and I think I've heard that. I could be wrong. It does not have any cigar flavor, and I don't think there's any cigar leaf in it. But um, flavors, CAO flavors, um, COA, CAO. I always get those confused. Anyway, um, yeah, they have Eileen's Dream. They have Moon. What is it? Moon, not Moonstruck. Moon something. They have a vanilla. Anyway, Eileen's Dream is the big one. I mean, that's that's the one that's like you can't find anywhere. Um, they have a cigar version of all of those flavors. In fact, you can get a big cigar. You can get like a little box of mini cigars. I have not had their vanilla pipe tobacco, but I have a box of the mini cigars, and they're incredible. So I really want to try their vanilla. What I have had though is I've had both the big, like tubo, robusto, whatever they call it, giant cigar version of Moon Trance. That's it. Oh wow, really? That's awesome. There you go. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have I want to say that there's a Moon Trance. I'm pretty sure there's a Moon Trance flavor for pipe tobacco too. I think they have all of them. Anyway, I have had Eileen's Dream cigars, and it took me a while, but I finally found Eileen's Dream, the tin of Eileen's Dream pipe tobacco, and it really was a very similar experience. I mean, it was a similar flavor. The only difference is that in the cigar, it was kind of wrapped up in cigar, traditional cigar flavor, but there was this really delicious aromatic flavor under it that absolutely matches the aromatic flavor of the pipe tobacco. So in that case, that was definitely not a disappointment at all. In fact, I think their whole line of cigars may be the most delicious aromatic cigars I've ever had. I haven't tried Moon Trance, but I've tried is it Cabela Vanilla? I want to say it's Cabela Vanilla. I still have half a pack of the cigars, the little mini cigars, the cigarillos, and they are just amazing. I mean, they're just incredible. I don't even think they're cigarillos. They're just like kind of smaller cigars. Yeah, really good stuff. Whereas in this case, I think it's more of a marketing thing. Now, funny thing is, Rever Plug. That sounds so familiar, but I can't place it. Who makes that? I know it's weird. It sounds really familiar, yet I don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm not sure if I've heard anyone say anything about it, but I've probably seen it talked about in forums or something. It's really familiar. Reminds me of Dunhill Nightcap without the smokiness of the Latakia. Well, yeah. I mean, I got the Latakia right away, but it goes away. Like it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not like a Latakia bomb like Nightcap is. But what I don't get in any of those, well, actually, I haven't found one. Maybe they have a more Balkan blend that I don't know about. But I've had 965. I have some early morning pipe, and I have some Nightcap. I guess that's it. But what this brings to the table is that the flavor I love, which is this delicious Turkish, and just I could just smoke on Turkish all day. I'm looking everywhere for a big tub of Quiet Nights because I'm gonna run out the way I'm smoking it. I don't want to keep buying the little tins. I would run out and get 2 tubs of it right now and just fill a 32-ounce jar. But everybody else is buying it. can't find it anywhere. I still have a goodly amount of Penzance left too. Those kinds of blends, those kind of sweet, spicy Turkish blends, I just love them. I can't get enough of those. And I found another one. But this to me almost tastes like mixing Quiet Nights with My Mixture 965. If that makes any sense. A little bit more Latakia, a little bit more, at least in the beginning, and a little bit more of that salty flavor. That 965 for me had more of a salty kind of sensation that I get than Nightcap. Whereas Nightcap just tastes like, it's like burning a pile of leaves. That really great smell, you know, when you're burning a pile of leaves out, you know, you get that kind of burning leaves, not just burning like to me, Kentucky is like a campfire, whereas Latakia is more like, you know, a brush fire, maybe. Similar, but slightly different. Which is why I think of Nightcap as a Latakia bomb for sure. But certain blends that have a lot of Latakia, like this one, like Pirate Cake, they start off as, you know, maybe a Latakia bomb, but there's all this Turkish, all this, well, I don't even know if it's Turkish, but it's some kind of Oriental, this Oriental leaf that brings this extra level of pizzazz to the table. It's just, yeah, it's just delicious. This has been one of the best surprises that I've had in opening, you know, brand new tobacco on YouTube, doing a first smoke. Molto Dolce was quite an impact, and I didn't record Pirate Cake when I did that one. I remember I was in the car when I first smoked Pirate Cake, but that would have been entertaining if I had, because I went crazy for Pirate Cake. I didn't want to go to work. I just wanted to sit in my truck and smoke Pirate Cake all day. It was that good. I do like the more like kind of weird, robust, interesting, exotic flavors though. So the Oriental in this, and I said Turkish several times. I don't know if it's some kind of Oriental, but it really strikes a chord for me. Big fan of this already. I mean, my recommendation, if you like Dunhills, if you like, you know, My Mixture 965, Nightcap, stuff like that, and you love, you know, the more exotic Oriental type flavor blends like a Balkan, or even like Quiet Nights or Penzance, those flavors, I think you'll really like this. It's really something. Anyway, so our big plan is to finish this bowl, and Pirate Cake, nice. Nightcap was the first English that I tried. I smoked I smoked aromatics. Not even like good aromatics, but like the kind that you get in the huge Ziploc bag at the you know, Walgreens or whatever, CVS, for like 18 years, I think. And then I started to get, you know, more interesting tobaccos and trying mainly just aromatics from brick and mortars and things like that. And yeah, it's funny that they have 1Q, but it took me a while to realize that's what it was because they call it something else. But so they had the aromatics on one side, and then they had like, oh, and these are Englishes over here. Now the aromatics, I don't know what any of that stuff is because they've renamed all of it. Their 1Q is called 24K. Everything there is renamed. You know, they've got like Irish cream. I still haven't figured out what Irish cream that is. It's not. It's not. It's not Sutliff. It's like got some Sutliff, and it's nothing like it. Both good, but the Sutliff was a lot more uh, subtle, whereas the brick and mortar, they're called the smoke ring. Their Irish cream is a lot stronger. It's a lot sweeter. They have all of these weird aromatics, and I'm sure a lot of them are just, you know, probably 1Q mixed with something. You know, they're just creating aromatic blends. They're all very similar. They're all very sweet. On the English side, I actually recognize. I saw. Okay, there's Dunhill Nightcap. There's Vintage Syrian. You know, there's a lot of Kia Flake. There's 965. Like I was recognizing what a lot of them were, and I thought that was interesting. Okay, so I know what I know of these tobaccos on this side. What I didn't know is if I'd like any of them. So after getting a couple of aromatics and, you know, just kind of like playing it safe for a while, I finally went down there and said, you know what? Give me a couple ounces of that nightcap. Give me a couple ounces of nightcap. I remembered smelling a few of them, and that one was really strong. That had to me that had the strongest flavor of all of these, or the strongest like odor and scent of all of these Englishes they had. It just like hit me like a wave. What is that? It didn't smell like anything any tobacco I'd ever smelled before. And you know, and I've smoked a lot of cigars and I've been smoking cigarettes for a long time. I used to smoke Indonesian, you know, clove cigarettes for a long time. But I had never smelled anything like this. So give me a couple of, you know, I said, give me that church warden. I'm gonna take a church warden home, brand new pipe. I'm gonna load it up with whatever this is. I'm gonna check it out. And by then I think I've been watching Mutton Chop and a few other people, so I was familiar with what nightcap was, and I knew that he said that it was really strong stuff, and he preferred not Bayou Morning. He preferred early morning pipe. And I thought, okay, you know, this might be too strong for me. We'll see. Got home, stuffed that bowl into that, you know, stuffed it into that church warden, and I lit it up. And I will never forget that first kick, that first flavor, that burst of Latakia from Nightcap. It was unbelievable. It was like a light bulb going off. I was pretty much hooked on English for good at that point. That was a lightning rod moment for sure. And honestly, to this day, when I hear that like Dunhill might go out of business and it's like, oh, they stopped production on everything, and oh wait, there might be some more, and oh, we don't know yet. The one thing that worries me about that is I'm not going to be sad about any of their blends going away, blends. I've found so much better blends, you know. But Nightcap is nostalgic for me. I don't want, 10 years from now, I want to still be able to taste that and remember what my first English was like. So if they do start disappearing, I'm probably going to go out and get like 16 ounces of Nightcap. Just cellar it and just every once in a while have a smoke so that I can always kind of recall that first English. Because it holds a special place in my heart, you know. It's good stuff. Now, when I went back and got vintage Latakia, that stuff really blew me away. I mean, I smoked 3 bowls of it that night. I couldn't stop smoking that stuff. I felt the same way when I got some Old Dark Fire. That was incredible stuff too. So he ordered 2 pounds of bulk Nightcap yesterday. Going to jar it up. That is a good. That's a very good decision because if they do go away, it might be like McClellan, where it looks like some of them are gone. Oh, where's? Oh, nope, no more. And then suddenly you can't find them anywhere. They're just cleared out overnight. I know of people who missed out. They were going to get some McClellan and cellar it up, and they just didn't act fast enough, and it was all gone. So I think if you love any Dunhill blend right now, I mean, you're gonna smoke it up anyway. Eventually, it's not gonna go waste. But cellar it up, and it's only gonna get better. It's English, So, you know what? I was in the same boat, and I was so upset because I missed out on Frogmorton. Everyone talks about it. Well, I found a tin of Frogmorton Cellar. That was the one. That was the one that Berg's got up. Oh, Berg ordered all of it. Berg. He's gonna chooch every ounce of McClellan left. No, I'm pretty sure Derek Tant has at least half of it. But yeah, I was like, oh man, I just wanted to take if the one I wanted to taste, like the one I just couldn't live without tasting, was Frogmorton Cellar because I saw the little video where Mike McNeil was talking about how he had to chop up the barrels to get the essence in there, and that was the only way to do it, and kind of at the last minute, was almost defeated, but he figured it out. And anyway, it was a cool story, and I just really wanted to have some. So I found, you can find it. It's out there. It's not cheap. It is not cheap. So I oh, I think I'm back. It died, and I came back. But I figured, I mean, what's the big deal, Spend twice as much. I could get 2 tins of something that I can get easily, or I get 1 tin of something that they don't make anymore, and I'll never have another chance to get. Not easily. And right now, you can easily get it. It's about twice as much, That's fine. That's fine. So, I did it. And I ordered a tin off eBay. And it was worth it, I got a tin of Frogmorton Cellar. It's cool. It came on the slow boat from some other country. Took a while, but I got it. Had the little whiskey barrel stave inside, across the pond. Cool. Yeah, see, I'd love to try them all eventually. I don't know if I'll ever find them, but I'd love to try Frog in the Log. You know, the original Frog Morton. On the Town, I hear is really good. I'd like to try that one. You know, I'd love to try them all. But at least I can say I have one of them. And I have experienced some Frog Morton because I felt like I really missed out. And it was worth it to me, you know, basically sacrifice the price of one tin of something else. And actually, I should say I think it was more than double the price. Come to think of it, double the price of an expensive tin. Put it that way. So yeah, it's all experiences. It's all just kind of, you know, checking out what's out there. Gift from Crosby. Oh no, I don't think I follow Crosby. Is that what's their YouTube channel? I'm always on the lookout for new, you know, new people to follow. It's gotten to where if I come home and nobody's posted anything, or you know, there's hardly anything new, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm like, well, who else is presenting out there? Crosby's Corner. I will have to check that out. Thank you. Crosby's Corner. I will check that out for sure. I don't know what's going on out there, but I swear it sounds like there's like a motocross across the street today. I don't know. Yeah. So enjoying the Labor Day weekend here. I'm trying to get to the third book in this series. I read the first two books years ago. And I've been dying to keep going. It's Edgar Rice Burroughs, At the Earth's Core. This is the Frank Frazetta cover, which is especially awesome. Most of the Edgar Rice Burroughs books, if not all of them, have a Frank Frazetta version. And anyway, this is a lesser known series of his. He has two different series. Well, first of all, if you're like, what, who's Edgar Rice Burroughs? Maybe the name sounds familiar, but it's like, what is he? This is the guy who wrote and created Tarzan. But he also created John Carter of Mars, which of course had that Disney movie a few years ago that wasn't too terribly far from the source material, but it certainly was not. It was not the book. There was actually a film version of At the Earth's Core too. It's pretty bad. What's his name? I'm gonna have him confused with McClellan Tobacco, but his name is McSomething or other. Anyway, he was in like every one of these. So they made At the Earth's Core. He was in that. There was another series, very similar series. In this series, they travel to the center of the Earth, obviously, and there's this like prehistoric world, you know, dinosaurs. It's kind of a Lost Worlds sort of story, adventure story. Really cool, really fun. He has another series, very similar, but instead of at the center of the Earth, they're on this island called Casbeck. And that one's really cool because it starts off in the middle of the war, and there's like a submarine, and you know, they take over the submarine, and it's like Hunt for October or something. Well, except set further back in the past. And then, like, they suddenly end up kind of stranded on this island, And it turns out it's basically like suddenly they're in the middle of like King Kong, like they found Skull Island. Like that's how the story kind of begins. It's really cool. It's really great. There's three of those, the Caspec trilogy. McClure, that's it. You know what? The Simpsons makes fun of this guy. They have Troy McClure uh, in The Simpsons. He's directly making fun of Doug McClure. I think it's Doug from these movies. But anyway, Doug McClure, he starred in At the Earth's Core. He also starred in um, the first Caspec when they made that well, all three of them actually, which is The Land That Time Forgot, and the sequel is The People That Time Forgot. When they got to the third book, which is has a completely different title, uh, Time's Abyss, something about the Abyss. Um, they didn't make that movie, but what they did do is they made a very similar kind of movie with creatures and all of that, and it starred Doug McClure, but it was like a totally different story. It had nothing to do with the original, with the first two movies. Very confusing, and I think it was seen as sort of a pseudo sequel, a pseudo part three. Anyway, and the fact that he's in that, and that's not technically connected to the first two movies, but it's kind of a part three, but not really. Plus, he's in this one, which is already really similar. Um, and I mean, it gets really confusing. The cool thing about At the Earth's Core, though, is that he's co-starring in this one. Oh man, I'm gonna get them confused. In one of them, I want to say it's this one, At the Earth's Core. He's co-starring with Peter Cushing, um, who is, of course, Grand Admiral. I'm sorry, Grand Admiral, Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars, but he's also uh, uh, he was in all the Hammer Dracula movies. He didn't play Dracula usually. He played Van Helsing. So he was anyway. He's awesome. He was even Doctor Who in a Doctor Who movie. Um, but anyway, yeah. So yeah, series of movies which are all pretty terrible. I mean, they're hard to get through, especially At the Earth's Core. It's actually, I think, worse than the others. It's really goofy and silly, and the dinosaurs look awful. They should have called Ray Harryhausen, and they didn't. And so they got these like big goofy, like Warlords of Atlantis um, is not connected to that, but it's right along the same vein. Um, it's yeah, right in the same vein of movie. It kind of Warlords of Atlantis is oh no, I'm sorry. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the third movie that okay, yes. I'm thinking of War Gods of the Deep. Yes, Warlords of Atlantis is the fake part three that's not really connected. That I always get mixed up with War Gods of the Deep, which is a similar movie that's more like those movies meets 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you. That's it. Uh, Out of Time's Abyss is the sequel, is the name of the third book. It's all, oh man, it's so confusing. I mean, it's confusing if you just stick to the books because the Pellucidar series, which is what this is, and the Caspec series are so similar. Now, here's the really cool thing, though, is that all of the Burroughs universes are connected. So, like, there's actually a Tarzan novel called Tarzan at the Center of the Earth, or Tarzan at the Earth's Core, sorry, where he goes down to the world of Pellucidar. And to make things even crazier, while Tarzan is swinging around in the jungle, and these guys are running down, David Innes is running down, running around in Pellucidar at the center of the planet. Um, there's a whole other adventure involving centaurs on the moon, inside the moon actually, in the Moon Maid, and John Carter is running around becoming the warlord of Mars. All of that's happening at the same time. And if you read the books as they go on, they begin to intertwine a lot, like a lot. So it's pretty amazing to get into like the whole Edgar Rice Burroughs universe and realize how when you finally start to understand how connected they are and you realize how they can kind of intertwine, it gets insane. It gets really cool. But anyway, I have read The Earth's Core, and I remember it pretty vividly. I've also read the sequel, which is just called Pellucidar, and I don't really remember how it ends. Kind of showing you the artwork, another awesome Frank Frazetta cover. But I don't really remember exactly how this ends. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to. I really want to read the third one, which is Tanner Pellucidar. But every time I sit down to read this, I realize, wait, I don't know what's going on. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna sit down and read the last chapter of Pellucidar and just remind, because I know I've read this at least twice. So I'm gonna remind myself how this ends, so I can then get in here and finally keep going with Tanner Pellucidar. It's a little dark out here, so I don't think I'm gonna read these, but I'm probably going to. I'm probably gonna read them on my Kindle. I'm a big fan of pulp novels, but this thing is so convenient. I have like hundreds of books on it, and it's a paperwhite, so you can read it for like a week before the battery dies and you need to, recharge it. I'm a big fan of my paperwhite. Love it. This isn't anything like a Kindle Fire. It's not. The screen is e-ink, which is weird. It's very hard to even explain how it works. But suffice it to say, it's essentially if it wasn't lit up, it would look like a page of paper, like just a piece of paper. It's not anything like the technology that goes into a screen. It's not a screen at all. In fact, this light is not even a backlight. It's this weird fibrous thing that wraps around the screen and projects light down on top of it from like a fraction of an inch away to top light evenly the entire, virtual page or e-ink page. But the way e-ink works is that once it sets the image, like you can see here, this image is just stuck here. Once it sets the image, it's not using up it. There are literally little tiny beads of different, that are of different shades all the way around them, and it uses electricity to turn the beads, to create the image. And so when it turns the bead, to this position, it reflects this much light, and that's how it creates gradation from dark to light. There's so many of them that you can't see any kind of pixels or anything. I mean, it's way higher resolution than that. So it's really crazy. I mean, if you don't turn on the light, it just looks like a piece of paper under a layer of plastic, plexiglass, thin. But anyway, it's pretty neat. The girl in the Earth Core was Carolyn Monroe. Yeah, Carolyn Monroe was also in. I can't remember if it was the second or third. Oh, it was the second Sinbad. I believe it was Sinbad. Okay, Seventh Voyage of Sinbad is my favorite Ray Harryhausen movie. The other two are the other ones that are not as good, but they are good. They're both still really fun. And one of them is Carolyn Monroe. The other one is the lead is what's her name? Jane Seymour, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. And I want to say that was actually third film. Anyway, Eye of the Tiger. I can't remember what the other one is though. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, The Eye of the Tiger. Actually, I wouldn't say Eye of the Tiger was the third one. The second two I'm always really fuzzy on. And honestly, I think I've seen them almost as many times as I've seen the first one. But I usually watch all three of them together. But they don't stick with me as much. I always kind of forget which one's like, oh, which one's the one with Kali? Is that this one or the next one? I don't know. Like one of them has, a caveman with a horn, and the other one has. I think he fights a saber-toothed tiger, and the other one has like a centaur, and at the end he fights a griffin. Yes, pretty sure. The one with the centaur is the one with Kali, because the centaur is of the worshippers of Kali. They throw her down in the pit, and their god comes out. Turns out to be a big centaur monster. It's coming back to me. Anyway, whatever. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad is the good one. Although Doctor Who was the bad guy in one of those two later ones. Tom Baker, like the Doctor Who. Jason the Argonauts is awesome. That's awesome. Honestly, that's so many people's favorite. I can't quite understand why it's. I'd say maybe it's my third favorite of his movies. I can't put it above Clash of the Titans, mainly because, well, the Medusa sequence. Two reasons. The Medusa sequence. Okay, the Kraken too. God, the Kraken is just incredible. It's just an incredible design. But also the Medusa sequence, not just the creature, but the entire sequence with Medusa is probably the most amazing thing that I saw in any of his movies. It's just so beautifully done. But the other reason is that Jason and the Argonauts is an unfinished film. I never understood that, and I've never once heard an explanation of that. I even listened to the Ray Harryhausen podcast. I've never heard anyone talk about why they didn't finish the movie, or if they were going to make a sequel. I think they were going to make a sequel. I think that was the idea. And what happened is that after they made that, they realized nobody wanted to watch these Greek movies, and so they started doing other things. But until eventually, at the very end, when they made Clash of the Titans, they decided not to make a sequel. But anyway, if you remember the beginning of Jason the Argonauts, he's out there and he's, well, before he's even born, there's the big city is sacked, and his mother, is killed, and he's taken off, and there's this prophecy that he's going to come and avenge, his mother, and he's going to kill the king who raided his city and destroyed it and killed his mother. And when he does finally show up, and the king, who knows this is going to happen, he's been told by a prophet who's like actually Apollo. I don't know why Apollo is going and giving him all some information, but anyway, he decides to get rid of him. He's gonna send him on this fool's errand to run off and do something really stupid that no one could possibly actually accomplish alive. Which is, come back with the Golden Fleece. Well, he does. He comes back with the Golden Fleece, but at the end of the movie, it's really just him with Medea sailing off into the sunset with the Golden Fleece. Like, now I'm going back home, and it's over. And it's like, wait, what about the king that you have to go? Well, he hasn't even found out yet. Like, he doesn't even know that the king that he's gonna go, or I'm sorry, he does know that the king, what he doesn't know is that the person he talked to is the king. That's what he doesn't know. It's not that he doesn't know about the king and that he has to go kill him. He doesn't realize that person that he saved in the lake in the beginning, who sent him on this quest, is the king. How he could not know that, I have no idea. But whatever. I mean, can you? I always think like the king must have been okay. Nobody called me, Your Highness. Nobody mentioned my name. Everyone hide, my seal, my crest. Everybody. Shh. This guy doesn't know I'm the king. Shh. How could you not know that you're in the king's camp? Anyway, but we won't go there. It was a strange premise. But I mean, if you swallow that, okay, fine. Jason's a little dense, cool, no problem, and he does this amazing thing, and he comes back, he comes out of it a hero, but he never returns home, he never fulfills his destiny, he never wins the kingdom. So it ends up being this, oh, it's over already? Okay, so I guess maybe in the next movie, and then that next movie never came. So I don't know. That always irks me. I'm like, well, where's the rest of the story? Whereas Clash of Titans is a very satisfying, complete adventure. It starts off with a guy who's a total jerk, throws his daughter in the water to drown. The gods save her, bring her to an island, because of course Perseus is the son of Zeus, and her baby. So he really messed up. He's like, oh, she's got a baby out of wedlock. I'll throw in the ocean. Oops. And so, he destroys the city with a kraken. And then, way at the end of the movie, he uses the kraken again. But this time, kind of against his will. He doesn't really want to. Zeus has to call on the kraken again. And it's really up to Perseus. Because Zeus, he's kind of in a corner at this point. He's backed into a corner. And he doesn't really want to do this, but he has to. Here comes the Kraken. Perseus defeats it, saves the princess. Had to hack and slash his way through the edge of the underworld, witches, Medusa, giant scorpions. I mean, it's been nonstop for this guy, and he destroys the ultimate doom in the Greek, world, the Kraken, who they mistakenly refer to as a Titan along with Medusa, but whatever, it's fine. And it's just a great adventure. And Seventh Voyage of Sinbad is I think even better. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. I mean, I think what's great about his movies is they're all so different that everybody has a different favorite, but that's my favorite, and it's kind of more old Hollywood. It's very old Hollywood. It's just like much more innocent, adventure. And the creatures are just amazing. The Cyclops, it's actually two different Cyclops, is incredible. There's a giant dragon, there's the big rock, beast. And there's also the first skeleton fight. That skeleton, Ray Harryhausen went off and made a bunch more just like it to do the skeleton fight in Jason the Argonauts. But that first skeleton was actually one of those skeletons was just that one skeleton from Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, and that's where the whole skeleton fight thing began. That idea, and it's in some ways it's a kind of a more of a intense fight because he's in close quarters and it's more one-on-one, whereas the other skeleton fight is kind of a big action scene with a lot of skeletons. And it's not. There's really no one sword fight in the middle of that that's all that intense. It's just kind of skeletons. So yeah. Anyway, good stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this bowl. Been an hour. That's probably long enough for chat. This is delicious. Did I mention that? 50 times? This is delicious. going to finish this. I'm going to read a little bit of Edgar Rice Burroughs, and I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and those of you watching this later on the VOD, as they say on Twitch. Thank you for sitting through a video for a whole hour while I babble about Edgar Rice Burroughs and Ray Harryhausen. I wish you guys an awesome Labor Day weekend. I hope that you guys have an extra day off, like a 3-day weekend or even a 4-day weekend. That'd be awesome. I don't know if I do. I might. I don't know. We'll see how I feel on Monday. But I am going to relax this weekend no matter what. So, thanks for joining me, and I shall be back again soon with more crazy tobaccos to try. So, until then, enjoy your weekend. And don't forget to have a good smoke.